right, YouTube. I felt compelled to make this video because this was a problem that I have been struggling with for 1.5 years since I bought this Top RC P-47, and that is the tail gear. A couple things. The main one was that at full extension, this fiberglass plate, if it wasn't mounted, would flex, and even when it was mounted, it would put the shock in a bind to where it wouldn't work. And then when I landed, it would compress, and because it was binding here, it wouldn't retract back down. The other issue was that, it was not far enough extension down to where basically I only had 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch below my gear doors here. So a buddy of mine, John Fisher, said, hey, you got a lot of shaft hanging on up here. Go ahead and lower that gear. So I put a 5mm spacer. That gave me 5mm more drop, which isn't a lot, but I'll take everything I can get. The other thing that I did was I noticed that the spring inside the shock is pretty short. And so this would actually compress about 1/4 inch before you hit the spring. So down inside the shock, I put a 1/4 inch spacer with a metal washer on top of it. And now I'm getting the full extension of the spring. So I got me, another 4 to 6mm of down. So I mounted it. That's all good. I'd like a little bit more, but that's a big plus. The big one is I figured out how to keep this from binding up, and this is a super simple fix. So what was happening before was the jack screw would push this thing out until it put the shock into a bind, and then it would trip the current limit on the controller and shut it down. But it would put the shock in a bind. So I was getting ready to make all kinds of elaborate strapping that would basically pull a bracket out to a certain point and then mechanically stop here, keeping the shock from going into a bind. But then I just got to thinking, put a damn nut on the back of the jack screw. So this allows you to adjust it too. So as you can see, I have it adjusted to where just when you get to the backstop on this joint, it hits that, cuts the current, or trips the current on the controller, and now my shock works freely. It's not overextending and putting this into a bind. So problem solved, and a pretty easy solution. Cost you 20 cents for a nut or whatever they cost. So I just wanted